Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a high-level best of 2 between Reynor and MaxPax's. This is from the most recent World Team League 3rd place type of match, and in the World Team League it's often the case that it's best of 2s rather than best of 3s or best of 1s. If you win both games, it means you get to stay on and get to play the next opponent. If you lose 1 game, you're out. If you lose 2 games, you're also out, and then your opponent gets to stay on. So there's a chance that both players get kicked out basically in this King of the Hill type of format. But we're only going to be looking at Reynor MaxPax's today in a best of 2. First map has been predetermined, is Neo-Humanity, and it's one of the maps that Reynor is quite fond of. He loves taking the forward third base, and he's a huge fan of that rich Vespine geyser in general, either for his own types of pushes or for defensive plays. He's very, very solid with it. So in the bottom left, we're also seeing the camera right now of both Reynor and MaxPax's. MaxPax's looking hella buff in his armor suit. Reynor in his new apartment, also looking solid. Twilight Council as an opener here for MaxPax's. MaxPax's has a couple of follow-ups on Twilight openers. Is known to play 6-gate glaive, 4-gate glaive, as well as DT drops. This doesn't feel like a good DT drop map, so I'm guessing it's going to be 4-gate or 6-gate glaive. The problem with 6 and 4-gate glaive on this particular map, though, is that it's really difficult to get in a good position with your adepts initially. Because the middle rocks can be taken out by like, I don't know, 8, 10, 12 links. Maybe even queens can attack it. And there's really not much TOS can do about it. That means there's only one realistic entry angle for the Protoss player. Makes it really easy for the Zerg to prepare, really easy to push it back. There's no real surprises that can happen either. Easy to control the pace of the game for Zerg in general here. It's going to be 3-gate glaive into a robotics facility. Feels to me like this is going to be a 6-gate. This is the exact build order that MaxPax's uses when he plays a 6-gate. Adept Stalker, 2 more gateways Robo, 1 more Adept, then goes with a 3 Adept Warp in, plus the 2 Adepts he has already built, walks across the map, and tries to put on some fake pressure with 5 Adepts that have glaives. That is really the plan that he goes for. Yeah, the Link's taking out the middle rocks already, so that's going to force these Adepts to move around. Warp gate should have finished at this point, as gateways will be morphing, and we'll see the triple Adept Warp in. Yeah, there we go. 3 more gateways also. It is the 6-gate version, pretty much as predicted. I think that Reynor knows how to deal with this, though. I don't think Reynor is going to have too many issues with it. This build is strong, but if you have a lot of roaches, you're not going to have any issues at all. Creep Tumor gets taken out. First 5 roaches already on the way here. Link still holding that watchtower. That's actually kind of bad by MaxPax's. Should really deal with that at this moment. Prism is out now as well. Some more adepts have been morphed in. Prism's gonna show up and try to get another big warp in there. Usually the number you're aiming for is like, I think it's 17 or 18 adepts. I think it's 17 adepts at like 5-10 for MaxPax's. That's the most common number that I've seen at least. Right now we have about 11. And here comes the next big warp in. There we go, 5 adepts get warped in. Bring the total up to 16. This doesn't look like this has a lot of promise though. Don't think this can do anything. Do you want to finish that? Maybe you do. Yeah, it's gonna finish that. There's no links to keep these units in position, so you can actually kind of run around here. MaxPax's finding perhaps a little bit of damage at the natural base. Yeah, it takes out a drone, forces a drone pool as well. It's not the end of the world, but this is a 6-gate all-in. This is not a minor pressure where you're taking a 3rd base behind it and you have an insanely fast tech structure with it. No, this is actually a build that should deal damage, and it hardly dealt damage. It didn't force out links. It just forced out roaches, and roaches are great to keep, so I don't quite know how MaxPax's is planning on playing the rest of the game. So far, just adding more and more adepts, adding that robo base, so perhaps just a crap ton of adepts and 2 disruptors going across the map is the plan, but I'm not seeing any real potential here. He needs to deal some damage. He's setting up another attack towards the top side, while also splitting off some adepts towards the bottom. These links actually denying this base currently, as MaxPax's walks back to deal with that. Disruptor on the way, Gravitic Drive as well, of course, the Warp Prism speed. Meanwhile, Reynor can just probably drone up to 63, which would be maximum saturation on the basis he's currently on. 6 gas saturation. I think that's enough. I don't think he needs more. Even 60 drones is plenty if you just want to play it on 5 gas. It's completely fine. There's an interesting shade. Actually might deal some damage, but I'm not sure if this is good damage. We're seeing 7-8 drones go down, but surely the adept numbers are also still going to fall. We'll need to cancel that. Yeah. This was like a lot of adept losses. I didn't like this trade all that much. 9 adepts went down, 8 drones, 1 queen. Doesn't feel so good. Does not feel so nice. Overall, all the trades that MaxPax's has taken so far have left a sour taste in my mouth. As Reynor feels in control here. 140 supply against 100. Blink on the way. We see the Forge as well coming out for MaxPax. Reynor I don't think is going to build a single drone anymore. She's going to send it with 60 workers and take it from there. Disruptor's trying to get hits in. Not doing the greatest job there with the harassment. Hardly killing anything, honestly. And the problem here for MaxPax's is that he doesn't have a major tank. And he doesn't have a unit that deals well with Ling or Baneling. Disruptors are good against roaches when it comes to splash, but not so great against Ling Bane. Also, the Disruptor can be inconsistent, of course, even against roaches. It's more of a deterrent than a 100% killer, you know? 2 more batteries on the way here as well. 31 Banelings get more centrifugal hooks finishing up, +1 finishing up. There's another big round warp in of Stalkers. I like this move out, but on the minimap we see a big force actually heading in towards the natural of MaxPax. Not so sure what's happening there, and I don't think MaxPax knows what's happening there either. Lots of roaches right now getting in there. Banelings connecting with all the adepts. Disruptor gets taken out. Does mean that all the Banelings just died, and there was a lot of Banes. So these roaches actually need to achieve something. Big warping in the main base. Roaches attacking the Nexus there. MaxPax is dealing with this as well as he can. Blink finishes up, blinks forward. This honestly is an okay defense for how bad the situation is, but the situation is still really bad. MaxPax with the tap out, 59 workers to 56, and Reynor wins game number 1. Second game is here on Ancient Cistern, and Ancient Cistern is perhaps the greatest Protoss map currently in the map pool in this matchup. The funny thing is if you were to place this map in last map pool, I'm not even sure if it were to make my top 3. And it kind of shows the shift we had towards a more Zerg favored map pool, especially compared to that last one. I think overall it's still a somewhat of a fine map pool in the Protoss versus Zerg matchup. Last map pool was maybe a little bit more Protoss favored than it was on average, but yeah, this map pool is specifically quite good for Zerg. And this is why we almost never see this map in this matchup, because there's just so many good maps for Zerg. Zerg sometimes don't even know which maps to veto as second, because they like all of them. It's actually a true story. They veto Ancient Cistern, and the second one are like, well, I can do whatever I like, yeah. So every map is nice. Perhaps Babylon, some Zergs don't like, but I don't think it's so bad for Zerg. Pool on the way for Reynor. Once again got his natural blocked, and this does feel like it's going to be an Oracle type of play, because Ancient Cistern is just really good for Oracle. Easy 4 bases initially, large map, which makes Twilight Council a little bit worse oftentimes. So yeah, I'm liking a Stargate. I'm liking the thought of a Stargate here, very much so. MaxPax doesn't seem to agree so far, as he's building his Warp Gate once again. But there's also no Twilight yet, so I don't know. Don't ask me what this is. Ooh, Warp Gate into Stargate. Now we're talking. Yeah. Or, wait, just... Okay, here we go. Yeah. I was waiting for it. He was saving a lot of gas there. A little bit of a late Stargate, and this might actually trick Reynor. Reynor could look at this and think to himself, hey, that's odd. What are you doing here, bud? What is it that you're doing here? It's going to be Adept into Stalker. Second Warp Gate on the low ground. Oh, I like this build order a lot, don't I? I do like this build order a lot. Second gate, perfectly in time as well. This is important. Sometimes Protoss players will fake Twilight Council, because that's what MaxPax's is doing here, is pretending that this is a Twilight Council build. But then they built their second gate at 310 or 311, which is too late for the first warp in. And then Zergs will be scratching their head thinking, hey, what in the world is this? This looks garbage. This probably is fake. And they become aware of it. That is not the case here. MaxPax did everything correct so far. He's been doing it well. Very important though. Ooh. That pylon is in a weird position. That's an Oracle position. The third pylon that he just built. It's also in vision of the Overlord if the Overlord pops in. So not as huge a fan of that. Reynor is buying it. Look at that. He's throwing down the Roach Warren right now. Could get a second gas soon as well. There's no links on the map patrolling for anything. So he's not going to be made aware of the fact that it is an Oracle first. Where's the Oracle actually going to move? Or is it just going to stay at home? Seems to be the case. Oh, second gas being taken here as well. It's going to be a double Oracle save up. This is such a cool move. And look how poor the Overlord spread of Reynor is. There's nothing on the left side. That is not how you want to play. Third base gets thrown down. Reynor not aware of it as the Overlord goes in right now. Oracle's most likely going to make their way across the map. Is going to get spotted. MaxPax throwing away the lead that he pretty much had. As these 4 adepts are going to get in. They're going to get in. Reynor is not ready for this. Oh, this is huge damage here for MaxPax. It's going to force more links to be built. Roach Warren has finished. Second gas has finished. And 2 Oracles are out and about moving across the map right now. They're going to get a lot of drone kills as well here. Oh, Reynor getting completely destroyed by MaxPax in the early game. Brilliant mind games out of the Danish player here. As 11 drones go down, there's a second gas already, which is another drone that's basically killed and money invested. A Roach Warren, which is another drone and money invested. This is legitimately the worst opener that Reynor could have had in his entire life. There's nothing worse than this. At least I don't think so. This is peak terribleness. If garbage had a build order attached to it, or an opening attached to it, it would be what just happened to Reynor. It's now going for a quick lair as well. Oh, he's just spending money like he has it, but he doesn't. Evo Chamber, he just wants a drone up at this point. MaxPax throwing down 5 more gateways, going for a 7-gate blink plus, or 6-gate, 8-gate. 6 gates added with the 2 already there. It does bring us to 8. Adds 2 sentries. This is going to be 8-gate blink stalker. Yep, there we go. Opens up with Blink before Forge, before the +1 attack. Interesting call, because Blink has a shorter research time. So usually, if you don't have money for both, you start with the +1 on your Blink Stalkers, because it basically, it means that they're gonna finish up at the same time. Now all Chrono Boost will need to be planted into that Forge in order for it to be, at the correct timing still. 2 drones go down, that makes the total 13. Worker count is equal, and we see the first 4 stalkers being warped in. Is MaxPax going to take a 4th base, or is he going to rely on a 3-base all-in here? I don't know what his plans are, but after an early game like this, I think he can basically do anything. What a fantastic start here for him. 22 links are on the way for Reynor. Does not feel comfortable enough in droning up here. But I don't really see a way for him to hold this. He's just not going to have the drones. He's going to be behind in workers. MaxPax is planning on taking a 4th base. I think I see at the 12 o'clock, I see a probe there. Or I see something there at least. Probably a probe. Look how many stalkers this is. The only thing that MaxPax is currently lacking... Okay, there goes the 4th base actually on the 3 o'clock. Not on the 12 o'clock. Let me get back to it again though. The only thing that MaxPax is lacking is quick reinforcements with this push. He does not right now have a pylon with a gateway across the map. He does not right now have a prism across the map. That means that he doesn't have anything that can quickly reinforce this position. At the same time, he's being run by it at home. 1 adept makes its way in towards the 3rd base, but it seems to me like this 4th base for our good friend Reynor is also in a little bit of trouble. A couple of stalkers do get warped in at home. You have the picture-in-picture there to prove it to us once and for all. And it's going to be 3 base for Reynor against 4 base of MaxPax, as MaxPax basically extends his lead here. And now goes into charge. Would love to see +2 as well. Yep, there we go. Good calls. Very nice. And now he has to make a decision as well. MaxPax has to make a call here. He can do 2 things. The first thing he can do is continue to stay on low gas, get more gateways, and perhaps even add a 2nd Forge. Or he can go up to 8 gases, tech into Storm, maybe Immortal, and take it from there. I personally, in this situation, would say, hey, tech into higher gas count, get your Storm out, get your Immortals out, and the reason for that is simple. The only way you're gonna lose this game is if Reynor manages to go into Lurkers here. Lurker Ling Bane. That is the only thing he can do, because he needs to stabilize, and Lurkers are a good unit to stabilize in with. The problem with pure gas units is that they trade very poorly against Lurkers. So the moment Reynor gets the Lurkers, you're all of a sudden in trouble with the Protoss here. However, it seems like MaxPax's is not going to wait that long until Lurkers are out, starts pushing out across the map. Needs to be careful though that he doesn't get surrounded. Here come the links from the back. Not enough Oracle energy. Oi, 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 MaxPax's going to get caught out of position here. 71 workers to 78. It's going to lose a lot of Stalkers as Reynor takes a fabulous fight with a lot of links here. Does get a recall off. MaxPax's still in a superior position, but once again is losing a little bit of his lead. And that Lurker then is going to finish. Adrenal Glands is on the way. If you don't have any big tech against Lurkers, you are going to be in trouble. You need to get your Storm, you need to get your Immortals, and then just tech into Carriers. Reynor is not on a good enough eco that he can afford and Lurkers and Corruptors. A fast switch into Carriers would be an absolute default win here for MaxPax's, but in order to survive the Carriers, I'm not even sure if he actually needs to get Storm. Now that I look at the situation, he could technically just tech into triple Stargate Fleet Beacon and start pumping Carriers. It's actually a viable play at this moment. I hadn't considered that yet, but he was so far ahead, and he still is in such a good spot that I actually believe he can get away with it. He has so much map control that the moment the Lurkers move out, he can just base trade. There's not enough Banelings to stop high Zealot counts. So as long as you keep upgrading, you deny your opponent's creep, and you keep vision of your opponent's army, I truly believe that a straight up transition into Carrier here would be extremely good for MaxPax's. Oh, this army is going to get caught. Archon in there as well. It's of course going to deal a lot of damage, but not enough to tank for it. Stalkers walking into Lurkers right now. MaxPax's throwing away a little bit more of his lead by losing a lot of Stalkers. These Zealots are in a better position than the previous ones were, but Adrenal Glands about to finish up means that these links are going to be on absolute crack. And Zerglings on crack are pretty darn powerful. Lurkers moving out across the map right now. Reynor perhaps getting a little bit too ballsy. Did just kill the 5th base though, so that's a nice thing for him. More Stalkers being warped in. Stasis warped. Clears the Lurkers. More and more Stalkers blinking back. Super Battery gets activated. I don't think that Reynor can actually attack into this. I think that'd be an incorrect call here. There's a lot of Oracles here. What is this? He's going for a pure Oracle defense. This is good against Ravager Ling Bane, but not so great when Hydras can be built. Still believe that pure Hydra Ling Bane at this point, mixed in with a couple of Lurkers, could actually get a win for Reynor. MaxPax's now once again on the offense. Going to struggle breaking this position. Might shave off some of the outside bases though. If you can clear all the creep, you have good rotational positions. Ooh, Archons need to finish up real fast. There we go, do finish up, but Adrenal Glands links are good. Nice repositioning on those Zealots, protecting the Archons. Reynor's gonna lose a lot of links there. Don't forget that MaxPax's eco is still fabulous. Even footing with a Zerg is always okay. Just needs to tech into something new. And Disruptors aren't going to cut it. Storm Immortal, I think, is the future here. There's so many links out. It's pure Ling Lurker at this point. Storm is so powerful against links. Oracles are going to help in making sure that these Stalkers stay alive. There we go. Pulsar Beam gets activated on the left side. Links, Roaches, Ravagers being kind of blasted here by the Zealot Archon army. Where's the Oracles? Oracles not in position to deal with this force anymore. +3 finishing up soon, and every single Stalker is actually going to end up falling. Hydra's popping forward as well right now. Worker count still in favor of MaxPax's. Army count in favor of Reynor, and army composition-wise, I'm starting to like Reynor's position more and more and more. As he's adding more Lurkers into the comp, eventually Banelings are going to find their way in again, and then Zealots will be practically useless altogether. MaxPax's just deciding to not get any extra gases, not getting extra tech, I think is a mistake. I really believe it to be a mistake. The Zealots are moving in. This is a good fight. +3. Kills a lot of these links, and of course he's outmining his opponent, so any fight where you trade about even is fine. Here come the Lurkers in though. Super Battery is active. There's 2 Hydras with this. Where are all the Oracles? I think they're on the right side. Ooh. Is Reynor actually breaking this? On the left? I think he's breaking it on the left. Oracles need to fly their way over there. The right side, though, looked better for MaxPax, but MaxPax pulls back, and now the right side is completely open. We see on the minimap Reynor's force moving forward, trying to get in position as he's trading well over here on the left. Here come the Oracles. Hydra's gonna get taken out, and that's going to clear up this army as these Stalkers stand in some battles. 15 workers get taken out, and the Zealots on the right side not good enough to beat those Lurkers. 69 workers against 72, and for the first time in this game, it feels like Reynor might be in a bit of a lead. As long as he can defend the counter-attack here, which MaxPax is heading out for, Reynor might be okay. It's gonna give up this 5th base. Still on 4 bases though. Meanwhile, pushing forward. Ooh, lots of Oracles out, but no energy on them. No energy at all on these Oracles. Oh, that's unfortunate, because that could have cleared some of these Lurkers, some of these Hydras as well. It's 4 base against, well, 6. 72 workers against 68. Lots of gas in the bank for MaxPax, but not being used in new tech. He's just using his old toys. Oracles fighting against Hydras, fighting against Lurkers. Here comes a Lurker flank from the right side. Here comes a Lynx around from the left side with the Hydras in the back as well. Oracles, not enough damage output to protect all of these Hydras. Reynor looking very solid in this game right now. Just needs to make sure that he doesn't overcommit into any position. He is in a superior spot right now. 5 more Lurkers on the way, as he's completely destroying MaxPax in this game, who had a fantastic start. The best start that you can wish for. By far the best start that a Protoss can wish for. 11 worker kills before the 5-minute mark. And that is a dream scenario there. Taking no damage whatsoever. The Blink Stalker follow-up, killing a 4th base, but it does not seem to be good enough against a player the caliber of Reynor, who can just make a comeback with Lurker, Hydra, Ling. No Banelings were hurt in this process. No Banelings were built in this process. Oh, here come the Oracles. We'll clean up all of these Lurkers, actually. Maybe I spoke too soon. This is a big army. 70 army supply against 54. Reynor does not have a lot of cash in the bank. Wants to set up a run-by right now. MaxPax can still build like 7, 8 Archons as well. Oh, no. Yes, that's a good warp-in. Holy crap. That was a really sick warp-in, actually. Not quite sure how that held back the Lynx, but it did. Big deal. More Archons being morphed in, and Archons against Ling Hydra are quite powerful. As long as there's no Lurkers out, perhaps there's an opportunity here for MaxPax. It's 88 army supply against 72. That Archon's gonna go down for free. Wait, this is a big army. 8 Lurkers on the way though. If these Lurkers don't finish up, I think Reynor is in trouble. At least 2 of them are gonna finish up, because this is only 5 in the front. Yeah, they're also gonna finish up. Needs to evacuate the drones from here. Here comes MaxPax moving forward. Lurkers moving in position. Is there enough to tank for this army? I think the answer is yes. There's a lot of Hydras, there's a couple of Lynx and 3 Queens as well. MaxPax does not want to engage into this, and I don't think he can. So that's the correct call, but he does need to do something because he's on an inferior worker count. He does not have some brilliant new tech coming in either, and he's not even building more eco buildings. Not like there's a new Nexus on the way. Okay, here we go. Moves up the ramp. There is a prism with him. This is a good concave. This is a very nice concave, but it's going to be enough. This is an unsiege. I'm not sure if I approve of that. Lynx running in will tank a lot of these Archon and Immortal shots. As the Lurkers in the back being transfused right now. 74 army supply against 50. +3 versus +3. No range upgrades on these Lurkers. MaxPax breaking through, but the reinforcements are still coming in. 9 Hydras, 36 Lynx with only a single Archon remaining. If there were still 3-4 Archons here and a Zealot warping was possible, I think this is a different story, but that is not this story, as Reynor wins 2-0 here against MaxPax. It's going to take the series. That is going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this. If you did, don't forget the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Bye bye.